Why not kick it off the right way, live from Media Campus West, man? Listen, we have another very special guest in the building. His brother's doing some amazing things. You know, anytime you get somebody that's confident enough to make other people famous, you know they got something cooking. You know what I mean? We got LaVon Lewis in the building. He's an author, he's a businessman, and he's a TV star and a mega mogul, and just a good brother to meet, man. And plus, I didn't know he was 7'3". I didn't know that until he walked in the door, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, he was dunking on people at one point in time. So he's in the building live with Reec, man. What's going on, big dog?
What's going on? Thank you, man, for inviting me.
Absolutely.
People are shocked when they talk to me on Zoom calls and I walk in. They're like, oh, he's tall.
Yeah, exactly, man. So we want to talk about a few things. Obviously, you got the book coming out, man, The Magnetic Heart. We got to talk about what that means to you and then what the reader is going to be privy to. We also want to talk about your company and what got you into that in the first place. Like what was that drive behind your business sense? And then we just got to talk about redemption and rebounding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mean on a basketball court, you know? So
Definitely.
Let's talk about all that. Let's just kick it off first with a lot of people, obviously, let's get the elephant out the room. They know you from TV. They know you from Queen of Court and what you were doing. Obviously, things did not work out. And you've been vocal about that. But how was it? How did life change per se from being on TV? Because a lot of people don't understand how that experience can alter how other people see you.
That's true. You know, I tell the story a lot that I was just at my desk one day and I got a DM from Will Packer Studios and I thought it was a scam.
I would have too. I understand.
I show people the DM. I'm like, it's a scam. But they're like, no, it's not a scam. We're going to give you a call. And so they gave me a call. We went through about 4 months of of interviews and tests and all these things. We're not knowing who the women were. And I figured this is something different. You know, let's do it. Right. Okay. And it was a fun experience. You know, you had over 20 guys, in which a lot of the guys I still talk to. You had, of course, 3 amazing ladies. And, you know, you have to get to a point on cam where you just are willing to be vulnerable, real, authentic, not caring what the audience thinks, you know, and then we had a good run for about a year. And then, you know, we decided that it wasn't a thing. So, but we're still good. But going public in a relationship, it's a little different. You know, it's a little different. And you just have to move accordingly. You still have to decide what part of your life you want to keep private. You don't have to tell everything. Yeah. Right.
Sound like it was some pain behind that, but I understand.
Well, no, not necessarily that, just period. Right. Whether anybody in a relationship, whether it's good or bad, you just don't have to showcase everything. You know, you got to protect it because you can't get it back. So that's how I've been able to maintain a pretty normal life throughout being on a couple TV shows.
Yeah. How did your experience from being what you do for a living, like you have this amazing, incredible company that helps people to show the world who they really are. But you were able to do that on the biggest, basically, platform that we have, which is television. So I know some of those calls you had with clients might have been going through your head for yourself at times.
That's true.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, the balance was different. Good thing I have a co-founder and business partner. So this is probably the longest run that I disconnected totally from the company like this. Yeah. So before I decided to go on the show, I mentioned like, hey, I want to put my all into whatever this is because it's true reality. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to step away for a few months and just solely focus on this. Yeah. Also, you know, my ex-wife and I keep my son, you know, equal times of the month, 50-50. Yeah. So for the first time, they both really helped me out by saying, hey, focus on that. Yeah. Do your thing. Kind of like that. So I totally unplugged. And then, you know, to get back into the company, there was a lot of things moving. You got to get back into it. But it's interesting talking to clients and new clients now that have seen the show. And, you know, we have fun talking about the experiences and scenes like that. Yeah. So, yeah, the balance is cool.
That's dope, man. It's good that the way you came across on the show was genuine, that it probably helped business.
Yeah, it did. It gave people an insight into another side of me because, you know, when I'm talking branding, my clients are a lot of great small business owners, but they're also like SeaWorld and Home Depot.
AT&T and the big man Walmart.
Yeah, Amazon.
He's being humble. He just said 5 of the biggest companies in the world. Okay.
Well, God is good. You know.
All the time. Mid-high bell for that.
I come from humble beginnings, but so they're often seeing like the professional side of me. They don't often see me court a woman or be romantic or thoughtful. And so it actually deepened those relationships. They're like, okay, it humanized me even more, I think, to my customers, which is what I like.
It speaks to your character, too, when you say you and your ex-wife are able to co-parent in a way that she says, you know what, look, I'm gonna take up a little bit more of the time so you can do your thing and be successful in those areas too. We don't always see that, but I love when we're able to showcase those things.
That's true. That's true. You know, this is what I decided when we divorced. We were married 15 years. I got married at 24.
Yeah.
And so when we divorced, you know, I figured at this point, she's family. I'm family.
Right.
You know, we have a son.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we have to be in each other's lives for the rest of our life.
Right.
So, you know, let's just make it a thing. So we're good partners. We're good. If she needs help with my son, if I need help, it's really a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, so if she wants to go somewhere for her birthday, cool. I got them all week. The same thing in reverse.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm very proud of how we met, maintained something so long, and split. We're good friends.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
And I know your son reaps the benefit of those, and also in your work world too. Because if you talk about a partnership in Brandon SeaWorld, I know he was like, I need front row seats.
Definitely.
Cool, man.
So when we go to SeaWorld, can you now?
Yeah. I got that, man. So let's talk about the business sense. What got you into that line of where you are as far as business?
Well, I would say most people that fall into business don't expect to. And I'm one of those guys,
Okay.
right? So when I graduated from high school, because I started my business at 19, I was always a natural artist as well as a musician.
That makes so much sense now.
Yeah. So I went to HBCU, Alabama A&M.
Shout out to them. My boy Ruben. Shout out my boy Ruben Perez over there in the athletic department. Okay.
I played the drum. So imagine drumline. That was kind of my story, right?
Yeah.
So I had the second highest scholarship in the section. I was rated top 5 in Alabama playing the drums, which is how I got myself out of my hometown of Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Okay.
Didn't have a college fund.
Yeah.
And then I entered an art contest where I was top 5 in Alabama at the same time.
Wow.
And so I had a dual scholarship. When I got to college, people saw my gift and they would pay for it.
The boy got hands.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they'll pay me for this.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. I met my business partner. He's brilliant as well. He came to college with a Motorola contract doing web and technology.
Wow.
Right, at the age of 18.
That's amazing.
So he's always been ahead of his time. And so people kept telling us, you should meet LaVon. LaVon should meet Sherrod. We met. That was 24 years ago. We're still partners.
Hit the hype bell for brotherhood and partnership.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
That's really dope.
I think more of us should do that, man. We get further partnering than trying to do it alone.
Hold on, can you just say that one more time? Look at the camera.
I'll say it slow. We get further partnering than doing it alone.
Okay,
so,
there it is.
And there can be two kings that run something at the same time.
Wow.
So we've managed to do this with no ego, no emotion. So that means he needs to be number one for a meeting or speaking engagement. I need to be number one. It's whatever works. So it is no ego here.
And it has been working.
It has been working, yeah.
I know you work for these mega companies, not work for, but work with these mega companies. But one of the things I was like really impressed on was the cookie dip company. So I saw the change in the branding, and I was like, I would buy that now. I wouldn't before. It just looked kind of like something you see as the no frill section of the no name brand section. If you like this, buy this. Now the way you guys change them, and I'm not trying to put a highlight on it, I'm just saying I could see what a branding and marketing company can do for someone.
For sure, yeah. A lot of people may think it's just design, but a lot of branding is business decisions.
Yes.
So, as example, when we met that company, people thought they actually sold cookies, and so the first shift that I made was you sell cookie dip like much like potato chip dip, things like that. You enhance things. So we worked on all of the messaging, all of the visuals, all of the packaging, a total 180, so people can realize what they actually sell.
Wow.
And what you saw, we were able to do that in like 3 weeks.
And I'm sure that made a world of difference.
It did, yeah, it did. It's a good company, good product. You know, she brought a lot of product when we presented.
Like, that would have been 400 pounds messing with them.
Right, we get a little perks.
That's the move, man. I like that. And just to kind of transition from that, now you are bringing your own product to the table. Now you're taking parts of your life, putting it on paper. How was that process to start with a book? What made you say, you know, I'm going to write a book from off of this situation?
Well, here's the thing. I wrote a book before back in 2008 about branding. And so I've been wanting to write a book for the last few years about branding, marketing, business, but I just couldn't get exactly where I wanted to go with it. So after being on TV, you're a little more visible and people are a little more aware of you. So you get more information, right? And so what I hear when I spoke at conferences or podcasts and things of that nature, people would kind of say they admire how I was on the show or just meeting me in person. And they would request, hey, you should write a book on relationships, attract, like something that we've never heard. And they kept asking. And so I said, you know what, let me take my entire life. This book is about all of my relationships, my parents, my mother, my wife, and just all things in between, right? Yeah. And taking those 10 lessons and teaching people how to do things. Now, it's called The Magnetic Heart for a reason. It's a different name, but it's a man's view to women and men on how to attract what you want. That's why it's called A Magnetic Heart. So sometimes we all go through betrayal. We go through heartache. We go through hurt. We go through all these things, and you can stay damaged. You can turn toxic. You can be mad at the world. You can not be accountable. Or you can do the work to repair your heart and who you are to really attract that business, woman, whatever you want. So what's that process like? It's 10 lessons from my life, what that process is like. And then I have it in an audio book as well.
That's dope, man. Let me hit the high bell for that. We need that. I mean, that's healing. That sounds like people have been through some things and they want to get to the other side of it. Yeah. So I see that makes so much sense for the name change.
That's true. That's true. So, when you look at, like you asked, what's the biggest difference when we being on TV? It's kind of like you can crowdsource in a way. So at mass, people can tell me what they want. And I'm like, that would be really interesting. And I knew this was the right book because when me and my team came up with it, I teared up about it. Yeah. And I'm like, these personal stories are really hitting, and I know they're going to help somebody. So
they will.
That's it.
I want to read it now. It's crazy. Or at least listen to it because the audio book is available. Going to be available too.
It will. Right. And the audio book is cool because at the top of every chapter, you'll hear live scenes of each interactions before it gets into it. Okay. So it's an experience all together.
That's what's up, man. So when Netflix coming? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like
where they at? You need to have them call me.
Right. That's it. Somebody.
Netflix call me.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's some incredible stuff, bro.
Thank you.
For sure, man. So what is on the new horizon coming up? So once this book drops, the audio book drops, you rolling. I know a tour is coming behind that. So what else do you have in the upcoming future that we can all look forward to?
Well, we are working on the tour as well. The book will be released probably early summer. So, and so you'll see a lot more promotion and things on it there. But other than that, we're really expanding the company. My company writes books for other people. Okay. So we have about 4 or 5 books we're authoring, which makes it about 30 books that we've authored in the time we've been in business. So we're just doing a lot of new things in TV, the book world, of course, the branding world. Nice. And I'm excited about it.
That's what's up, man. How do people, they have a company, they think they need to turn a corner, but just need that little push or that extra little, finishing that you guys do? How do they get in touch with you guys?
You can reach us at brandingconnected.com or you can literally DM me at LaVon Lewis on Instagram. Okay. Or you can go to my website as well. So you can go to either one of those. So.
Cool. Let's hit
it's magneticheartbook.com.
There we go. Let's get to our fast 4 questions. So the first question I'm gonna ask is, what was something?
I think I'm afraid of these.
No, this is not a clickbait show. This is a show for those that want to either learn about how to get into the entertainment business or the business and find out just different tricks of the trade and things like that. Okay. A person like you would be inspirational to a lot of people.
Let's do it.
I want to ask questions that make sense to that.
Okay,
right?
Let's do it.
Coming on television, what was something that happened in a positive light that you weren't expecting that came from it?
Wow. Here's the thing about being on TV. You can actually, in your real life, if you date or do anything, you don't actually have like a camera following you around. Right. It's really interesting because Queen's Court had 8 cameras every day. 8. So we're here.
Yeah.
Right. Which took me about 3 episodes to get used to. People see it's 10 episodes, 1 hour each, 10 hours of footage. With those 8 cameras, 15, 16-hour days, you're talking about 3,000 hours of footage that you did not see. Yeah. Right. So people wonder, like, how does this process work? Was it fast? There's a lot you don't see. Yeah. Right. So you have to be able to just adjust and go from there. The biggest thing I learned is that when you watch yourself on TV, you watch your mannerisms, your responses, your laughs. You watch how people respond to you. With 8 cameras, that's angles you can't see. So if I tell you a joke, I don't see if she laughed or not.
Right. Or if she didn't laugh, and how didn't she laugh? Right.
Or if you go on a date or talk to someone and they talk about it in another room with somebody else, you don't know what they said. Right. So those experiences taught me a lot about myself, kind of the good. And then some things I need to work on. I'm always objective. Yeah. And so that was the best thing that came out of this to me. Just a real good footing on who I am and how to get better.
That's what's up, man. I was on Ricky Smiley for real for like 4 seasons, and I absolutely know what I mean. Yes. Yeah. And then the editing. I was like, I didn't say that.
Yes.
But I did say that. Yes. I allowed them to have pieces to make me say that. So I had to learn that. After the first season, I was like, nah, I'm not. I'm going to be myself always.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand on everything I say, but I'm not going to say a sentence that can be cut up the wrong way.
That's true.
And they didn't really do that. Shout out to all the producers. Yeah. But there's a couple times and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a couple scenes I saw where I'm like, I didn't say that or this didn't happen, but it is what it is. It's kind of like you have both sides. You know, if you're on a show, you get all of the good and you can take advantage of it. But, you know, there may be some edits you don't like. You can't have it one way.
Gotcha.
You know, so when you sign up for it, it is what it is.
Right.
You know.
All right. Question 2. I know there's no exact way for success, especially when it comes down to social media. It's kind of like whatever hits, right?
Right.
But what's some kind of a blanket piece of advice that you would give to a person who has kind of like their own name, but also has a business too, and they're on social media trying to promote that business? What would you kind of tell them?
I would say the best way to make that work is remain authentic. Don't care about what people say about it and continue to develop it. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we don't start things in social media because we overthink it. And then you look up 3 years later and you never started. Or you can start, make mistakes along the way, and you're that much further 3 years down the road. And I wouldn't oversell. Even with my social, I do a lot of like personal things.
Yeah.
You know, show your lifestyle. People connect with that even more. And about 15-20% of the time, show the business, sell something. But for the most part, let me connect with you. I tell people like this: if I had my book on social media, you know, or here, you don't want me to say, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. But you want me to say, hey, nice watch, man. You know, you want to go have a drink later. You just want to connect with me. And then I'm like, hey, you ever thought about buying my book now that you know me? That's how I would see it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
People have to like you to do that too.
Yeah, they gotta connect.
Right.
You know,
they gotta connect.
And you know, you live the life they live, or they say, oh, he drives the same car, or we drink the same coffee. People connect, and it's easy to sell later.
Got you, man. All right, this is my selfish questions. Question 3 is always my selfish question, right? So because I have backyard chickens and we have this farm situation, we're trying to get us into farming, or at least just into self-sufficiency in the homesteading space, right? If you could raise any animal on the farm, what would it be and why?
Whoa, good question. Never heard before. If I could raise any animal, what would it be and why? I would say that's a challenge. That's harder than the business questions.
You do business every day. This is something different.
I like it though. I like the challenge. I would say probably maybe a horse, maybe something like that.
Okay. Why a horse?
You know, multi-use. Maybe I need to get around.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But no, I think
with these gas prices, he knows he's thinking about the future.
You know, gas prices go up. I may need transportation. No. Or, but no, I just think it's a beautiful animal. I think kids would love it. Riding them is fun. You know, I've ridden horses in the ocean before, up the mountains. So it's just a cool, different thing.
That's dope, man. I saw the other day a video about horses and their frequency. They feel so many things. They can feel a fly on their back.
Whoa.
Like 1,000-pound animal can feel a fly on their back. So imagine when a person's on them, they feel not only the person's physical, they also feel any emotion they may be dealing with or stress that they may be dealing with. That's why it's like mentally rehabilitating to be around horses sometimes.
Wow, that's amazing. I like those facts that we just don't know. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. All right, so now this is the last question. It's usually worded like this: if you can go back to a younger age, right, and tell yourself anything. I don't want to do that because you have a son, right, who's coming up and may want to get into the business world or the branding world, right? Let's just say your son wants to take the reins on your company and he's coming up and you see the fire in his eye. What's one piece of advice you would give him as he's about to begin his journey?
It's actually something I told him yesterday. So my son plays soccer, and we were coming home from his soccer game. And he has an eye for photography. I don't know what he's going to do for a living. I let him choose that. Right. But he has like this creative eye. He's also a musician, coincidentally.
The apple didn't fall far.
Right. But, you know, he just turned 14 Friday. So I told him, I said, hey, what if I bought you a camera? You know, what would you like that? You know, maybe you shoot a little video, this or that. You just never know. Even my business partner, his aunt bought him a computer at 14 and
Look at him now.
You know, he made his first like $5,000 at 15.
Wow.
Now you're talking about 20 years ago. That's a lot of money.
That is a whole lot of money.
For anybody but a 15-year-old.
15-year-old is a lot, yeah.
So, and it got him into where he is today. So I say those examples to say, start as young as you can. I'm glad I started at 19. Had I started this business like last year, I would be afraid, you know, and you have time to make mistakes. I think between 15 and 30, you got a lot of time to make mistakes. And let's say if you go from 15 to 30 and it's all failures, right? Yeah. And you try different things, you'd be the smartest person in the room at 34.
Yeah. You've made all the mistakes already.
Yeah, and I feel like you know what I'm saying. If you're like Renaissance where you can do this and do that, and I tried this, who cares if they fail? You're so much smarter, and your brain works so much faster and process so much faster because you know how to learn something, figure it out, you know, have a little success, maybe not, get out of it, start again. Yeah. Many people don't start. So I always just say, as young as you are, do as many things as you can.
You don't let the failures define you either.
Yeah, no, you don't. You know, it sounds cliche, but it's really not failures.
No, not at all. Because it's like that. I've learned how to deal with people. I've learned how to deal with different types of people in that sense. It's like take that mind frame into different rooms and say, okay, that no, I can turn that to a yes. Yeah. That no needs to be a no. This yes isn't really a yes. That's got a different motive to it. So I understand.
That's true. Yeah. Like people look at one of the most successful businessmen of all time, which is Steve Jobs. If I say that, you wouldn't say failure, but Steve got kicked out of Apple at one time, you know, and then started another company and that didn't go well and then came back. And then a lot of people will say, well, I didn't like the way he managed. He wasn't really a people person, you know, kind of thing. But we can say, oh, he's failure at working with people, failure with the company. But no, it's these things made him even a better leader. Yeah, man, that's an ode to just sticking to what you want to do and keep moving and don't let people stop you in the process. That's true. There we go, man. I appreciate you, bro, man. This was a great interview. Make sure that you guys pick up that book, The Magnetic Heart, 10 Steps to Win. That's what we're gonna call it. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's an amazing book about. That's what's up. Hit the hype bell once again, man. A father, a businessman, just all around good dude, man. Y'all keep tapped in on what he's doing. Follow him online. Tell him where to get you at on social media too. Yeah, you can go to brandingconnected.com or Instagram, LaVon Lewis, LaVonLewis. All right, man. That is it right here from Media Campus West, live at Reec Radio LIVE Show on Magic 107.5, 97.5. We love y'all. We get back to this music. Check out the full interview at ReecRadio.com. That's ReecRadio. And across all social media platforms at Reec Radio and Reec Swiney, ReecSwiney. Oh, you ready?